There is a pretty bizarre and important twist here. We first told you about this last week. The Trump administration finally warning 21 states they were targeted by Russian hackers in the 2016 election. That was 10 months late and include key states like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. Now, the feds apparently did not get it right even after the 10 months. Take a look at this new tonight. Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reporting Trump officials now, today, telling Wisconsin they actually were not targeted by those Russian hackers after all with regard to election-related material. I want to bring in Michael Haas. He's the chief election official in Wisconsin. Michael, let's go through this piece by piece. There is a lot of blame potentially at the federal level. You're on the receiving end. So number one, when were you first informed that elections were hacked in your state?
Well, good afternoon. As with other states, we received a phone call last Friday from the Department of Homeland Security, and in that phone call they advised that they consider Wisconsin to be one of the states that was targeted by Russian government actors in order to scan our voter registration
system. Did they say why it took 10 months? Did they say why it took so long?
Well, as you know, this has been a point of contention, and a lot of state election officials have expressed their concern over receiving this type of information since last June. And there is a process in place to set up a coordinating council of national, state, and local election officials as part of the critical infrastructure designation of election systems. And one main goal of that coordinating council is to help the Department of Homeland Security communicate more effectively with election officials. And I think that is maybe one reason why Homeland Security has gotten to the point of being comfortable sharing this information.
So they tell you this Friday, and then when did you later hear from them that they got it wrong?
Well, we were given a contact at DHS to obtain further information. We wanted to find out exactly what was communicated last October. Yesterday, they provided an email communication which did not appear to mention Russian actors in it. We asked for follow-up after they investigated further overnight, and this morning they informed us late this morning that, in fact, the IP addresses that they were looking at were scanning a different state agency in Wisconsin, or attempting to scan a different state agency in Wisconsin. So let me make sure I understand it. Not the elections agency.
The flow of this is so important, and as you mentioned, sir, there is so much confusion. I want to make sure the point you just made comes across clearly. You're saying they left it on Friday as the federal government, Trump administration, telling you this was Russian hacking, and only because of your follow-up questions or clarifications did they come back and correct the fact that it didn't hit election-related cyber. Is that correct?
Well, essentially, yes. I think the initial phone call, though, was to try to get the states all contacted within a 1-hour period of time, so that information was very brief. And my understanding is that DHS is fielding follow-up inquiries from a bunch of other states to find out exactly
and just
what
in my limited
information
time, Michael,
had.
the last question that I want to ask you is, if they told you after a 10-month delay, the Trump administration on Friday, that your key state of Wisconsin here was hacked by Russians to some degree, and then this week they tell you they got it wrong and it wasn't, how does that instill confidence? How can the public know if the source of the information is DHS Trump administration and it changes over these days? How do we have confidence from here?
Well, I would note that it's important to be precise, and nobody ever mentioned that Wisconsin was hacked. The terminology here is important. It was always that there was an attempt to scan a system in Wisconsin.
That's what I mean.
DHS is a newcomer to the election administration. I think they will acknowledge that there's been a learning curve there. Whether it's under the Obama or Trump Department of Homeland Security, that personnel is needed to get up to speed on what state and local election administration is all about. We consider DHS and FBI to be essential partners.
Sure.
And we're going to continue to work with them.
I got to tell you,
just
sitting here as a journalist and a citizen, I respect the work you do and the difficult environment you're in, and yet you have to work with all these folks. What you're telling me is completely scary and shocking. that on Friday you're being told there was Russian scanning in the critical state of Wisconsin, and you do follow-up, and by Tuesday, no, there wasn't, and we're still 10 months out, and you have a president who apparently isn't sure there was any hacking at all from foreign powers or scanning or these intrusions as we've been covering them. I appreciate you joining us.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.